everyone. We are getting ready to start the first panel of the morning. I hope you've been enjoying the conference so far. I'm Jacqueline House with Good Day NWA. So happy to be back for my third year with the NWA Business Women's Conference. Just a reminder, if you're on this side, this is session B, which is all about mentorship. If you are looking for session A, which is talking about how to make a successful shift in your career, that is on the other side. So just making sure you're in the right place. You're in the right place? Yeah? Okay. Are you ready to get started? Okay, perfect. Well, I'm excited to introduce all the participants on our panel. First up, I want to call up Robin Hampton. And then along with Robin, we have Marie Twaddle, Catherine Gates, Quinn Grovey, Sydney Emmerich, and Tammy Allensworth. And they're going to be chatting about mentorship, power of connection, better together. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Whoops. Oops, sorry. I brought my posse. Okay. Come on, girls and gentlemen. Everybody just have a seat wherever you would like. Yep. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. We are so excited to be here and to be with all of you. I personally am humbled and honored to be on this stage with these amazing and distinguished people, and to talk about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts, and that's mentorship, the power of mentorship. Now I have to put my glasses on, excuse me. The first thing I'd like to say is I would like to thank Tracy Green from Dress for Success, Northwest Arkansas, for suggesting me to host this workshop. Super excited to be here. Then I'd like to just jump right into some introductions because we want to get to the good stuff, which our introductions are kind of good too. So Miss Marie Twaddle, she's my co-facilitator and co-host. I've worked with Marie for many, many years, back in our Home Depot days. Right now, she is the senior HR business partner at Walmart, where she supports, I got to say this right and read it because it's kind of a mouthful.
It's long.
Innovation and automation team within the supply chain organization. Sounds like kind of a big deal. Thank you, Ms. Twaddle, for being here with us and supporting me on this journey. Okay, next I'm super excited. In this journey, I've met some really cool people and I've made some new best friends. And one of my new best friends is Tammy Allensworth. She is so awesome, by the way. I feel like when we met, we had been friends forever. I mean, like we were kindred spirits and just bonded right off the bat. She is celebrating her 30+ years at J.B. Hunt. That's kind of a big deal too. That's right. She is the Senior Vice President of Customer Experience, and she was also one of the leading founders of the program GROW, which is Growing and Retaining Outstanding Women. Thank you, Miss Tammy, for being here with us and sharing all of your experiences today. Okay, next I would like to introduce Miss Sydney Emmerich, who is also with J.B. Hunt. Wow. When I met Miss Sydney, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have been like you when I was growing up. What an amazing young woman who has accomplished so much in such a short period of time, came right out of college, went to work for J.B. Hunt. They're very fortunate to have you. She has also been instrumental on the GROW program, and she was part of the Recruit and Retain pillar and the new employee engagement program. So we're so happy to have you here today and share your experiences with us as well. Okay, then we have Miss Catherine Gates, and I don't mean to be standing in front of you or fall off of this thing here. We met for coffee, and I promise you, it was 3 hours later when we left. And it was like, and we just had so much to say. It was like so flippin' exciting to talk to somebody that we just couldn't stop talking because it was in person. So super happy to have you here, Miss Catherine. She is the Executive Director for Women in the Marketplace, a national nonprofit that equips working women to confidently pursue their faith and career for the glory of God. Catherine is the author of The Confidence Cornerstone, A Woman's Guide to Fearless Leadership. So thank you, Miss Catherine, for being here and sharing your experiences as well. Okay, last but not least, Mr. Quinn Grovey down there, looking all cool. Enough said, right? Everybody knows Quinn Grovey. Well, I'm sure his reputation precedes him as, I don't know, like the best quarterback the Razorbacks have ever had. Woo! Yeah. Or his 24 years on TV, radio, podcasts, wherever he loves a mic, so wherever he can get one, that's Mr. Grovey. Or in his latest endeavor with his 3-part miniseries, Growing Up Grovey. So he's not shy, let's put it that way. He loves a stage and a microphone. And the best part is he was in HR for many years, and we go way back to our Home Depot years, and that's where our paths have crossed as well. So I'm super excited to have you here with us today, Mr. Grovey, too.
So my turn. Yes. I would like to introduce Miss Robin. For anyone that knows Robin Hampton, this is a list of some of the things that she's done in her life and her career. We could go on for an hour. Quinn can attest to that. But first of all, she's an amazing artist, an interior designer. She and her husband also, for fun, just buy homes that are a train wreck, and for fun, they redo them. Trainer extraordinaire, an HR business partner, courtesy of Quinn, who actually started us both on our HR path. And she is the co-owner, CEO of, and we're fortunate to have them in this area, of Stratus. They are a national staffing firm, and she and her daughter, it's a woman-owned business, and delight to have you hosting this today.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So excited to be here.
So the other piece that really brought us here today, Robin is on the board of Dress for Success, and she's the lead in the mentorship program for that organization. So Robin, how about you start by sharing your thoughts about your work at Dress for Success?
So first of all, I have to tell you that I was looking for something to get involved in, and one of my daughters came home and said, "Mom, I was at this event, and there was this group called Dress for Success." And she said, "You've got to get involved in that." So, like a good mother, I did exactly what my daughter told me to do. And I went and got involved. And I met Miss Tracy Green. And I'd like to say the rest is history, but it has been the absolute best experience of my life. I have enjoyed every minute. If for those of you who aren't familiar with what Dress for Success is, it is a nonprofit organization to help women become financially independent. And I think that is a fantastic mission. And what we offer is to help women feel fabulous when they go for an interview, and to have clothes for the whole first week when they go to work. I mean, and I don't mean just like clothes. I mean like beautiful undergarments and maybe some pretty pajamas and all kinds of things, Quinn. We want you to feel beautiful when you go to work. And that group over there does a fabulous job of making every single lady that comes through that program feel like $1 million. So thank you to Miss Tracy and her team, Miss Kim. It's awesome what they do, and I love being a part of it. And being a part of it, that's how I got to here today, to being chairing the Mentorship Committee. And so that became very, very near and dear to my heart, something that I absolutely enjoy doing and being able to give back. I'm going to get a little emotional probably, and I'm going to get real.
She's off script.
I snorted.
Again. Off script.
We're going to get real. So mentorship is important because I'm here with my two mentors, Mr. Quinn and Miss Marie. And that's what this journey is all about. Everybody coming together and being able to help each other. And nothing makes me more proud than to be with these two people today on this stage. So thank you both for everything you have done for me. And I honestly don't think I would be here if it wasn't for them. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, they're my heroes. So I'm going to turn it back over to Marie.
So I'm also part of Dress for Success, but I wanted to kind of put a plug in for the corporate side of this whole topic. I work at Walmart. Some of my business partners that I support are here today. And I honestly don't think there's a week that goes by that I'm not having a conversation with Cheyenne, potentially, and we're talking about one of her associates and how awesome they are. And the dialogue we start to have is, okay, where are they awesome and where do they need development? Okay, and where do they need development turns into, do they have a mentor? And Walmart has a pretty awesome mentoring program if you know how to use it. But the reality is, it's more targeted conversations about what do they need to grow. And whatever that is, okay, let's talk about who we know that can mentor them and help them grow in that area. So the power of that, the associate feels you care about them, right? That's number one. You're taking the time to give them honest feedback and pair them up. And then ongoing, how are they doing in that area? So you don't have to be in HR to do that, right? You can have conversations peer-to-peer to talk about who would be great to help my associate grow in their role. So all about it. This is so critical to associate development.
Yep. So we promised, Ms. Tammy said right off the bat, let's make this real. We're going to get real. We're going to show you that all these women and men up here who are, like I said, all really a big deal. We've all had our ups and downs. We've had great chapters. We've had not so great chapters. We've had bad chapters. We've had fabulous chapters. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that's a part of it. It's how we reach out, and the power of connection is so important. And that's what mentorship is all about. So,
Panel. Time for you.
panel.
So, let's start with Dr. Grovey. That's what I call him anyway.
Nickname.
Quinster, why do you believe that being a mentor or having a mentor is so important?
Yeah, for me, it's because the mentor has done it. I mean, it's just like, if I'd have listened to my parents, they had the roadmap. I could have, alleviated a lot of stress, a lot of strain. But when you run into somebody in the business world, you see how they do it, you like how they do it, and you know that they genuinely care about you, then now you've got a great opportunity to have a great mentor. And so it's not only about having a mentor, it's about having a sponsor that's going to be in those rooms, that's going to be in those talent planning meetings, that's going to be talking about you. So for me, mentorship you can't make it without mentorship. And I love being a mentor. And these two ladies, actually, Robin's saying I was her mentor. I promise you, these two ladies told me what to do.
True story.
And but when you surround yourself with great people, they're much smarter than me. That's all I want to do, surround myself with great people, and I was able to do that. So the mentorship for me is really good. I go back to me playing college football. Greg Thomas was the first black quarterback at the University of Arkansas. I was the second, and I was able to watch him, see how he handled things. And I was able to understand what I needed to do, what I didn't need to do. And from that point forward, mentorship has been something that I think about every single day, because you get a chance to impact somebody's life in a positive way.
Love it. Absolutely. Okay. Tammy, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree, and I love that you differentiated between having a sponsor and having a mentor. Those are two very different roles. And so understand that. A sponsor is someone that will put their name on you. They're in meetings. They're the person that's saying, Susie or Freddie, they have the skills that somebody is looking for. I am pushing that person forward. Mentor, mentee, I will tell you my path. I have been mentored by, I would say, one of the most influential women inside J.B. Hunt. And I always chuckle and I share this story. Make sure you find a mentor that is going to be very real with you. We all want to hear how great we are. Who doesn't want to hear that? Come on, right? But I don't know that grows us. And so find that person that will have very real conversations with you, that you know it's coming from a really great place, not to tear you down, but to really give you that insight that you need in order to push forward. And then you touched a little bit about find somebody that does something that you want to hone your skills. And it's as simple as that. And that's what I try to tell people. It gets a little weird, like, I don't know where to start, and I need this big official program. We have a program at JB Hunt, so we're very proud of that. But it can be as simple as, you know what, I notice this person always looks polished in the way they dress. Or this person is a great public speaker. I am just going to tap them on the shoulder and say, listen, that's a skill that I want to continue to improve on. Would you be open to spending some time with me? So again, just a couple of things that I think are really important.
Awesome. Absolutely. Sydney?
Can you guys hear me? Awesome. So for me, I have been on both sides of being a mentor and having a mentee as well. And Tammy mentioned our Grow board does have a formal mentor program. And my mentor, 2 years ago now, honestly came up to me and she said, Sydney, you look defeated. You look completely worn down. And that was the first time somebody's ever told me that, because as Laura mentioned earlier, I was saying yes to everything thrown my way, that I did not take time for myself. And my mentor was the first one to sit me down and just really be like, you need to take a minute for yourself before you get run down completely. And on the flip side, I'm currently a mentor for a mentee at Hunt in customer experience. He's 30 years older than I am, but I have learned so much from him about life in general, and I've been able to coach him on how to get involved and make a difference inside of our organization. And so I think either way, whether you are on the mentee side or a mentor side, both are valuable for your personal and professional development.
Absolutely.
That's right, absolutely.
And Catherine?
Sure, yeah. All of us can benefit from a mentor that has been through the challenges and the difficulties to help us avoid going through some of those same challenges and difficulties, or being able to at least deal with them in a healthier way, in a more productive way. But I think especially women, so many women deal with a lack of confidence, feeling inadequate, feeling like they are less valuable. I know for me, I thought I would have to constantly prove myself, work harder than anyone else to get ahead, and sometimes try to be something that I wasn't. And so when women have other women mentoring them, they can reflect back the skills and the abilities and the real authentic gifts that that person has, so they can walk in the confidence they need to grow, so they can be who they were designed to be, their authentic selves, as opposed to struggling with doing something or being something that's just not them. And so I really find that the more women have those mentors that can show them, reflect back to you, what it is you do well, where you shine, help you see where you need to grow, but that when you make mistakes, that is not who you are. That's just something you did, and failures are opportunities to grow. That provides a wonderful foundation of confidence for career success.
I love that. I mean, how many of us can honestly say, show of hands, that voice in our head is constantly running? Show of hands. It's just the human condition, right? And having somebody who is your champion and on your side and is going to be honest with you is the whole premise of having a mentor. So awesome. All of you, awesome.
I love it, I love it. Can you hear me on this?
No.
No, okay. I'll need this. Yeah, okay. Yes, I love that. That is so perfect, all of those things. Somebody who is your, oh, now it's going, I guess. Somebody who's your, biggest cheerleader, somebody who is going to tell you you're doing some stupid stuff, which I've had a lot of those conversations, by the way. I heard those a few times. And is your biggest supporter and cheerleader, so absolutely. Okay, so I have a question for Miss Twaddles over there. This is a big one.
Oh, boy.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Languish may be the 2021 dominant emotion. What advice do you have to move away from languish to a sense of progress?
Wow. So COVID, right, is the first thing that pops into mind. Literally, I just got over a month of it, so I can really speak to the whole topic of languish. Something comes to mind, I think, for me, and it's a book I read a number of years ago, and it was about kind of the ladder of emotions. And you know, we look at social media all the time, and we think, everyone's happy. Why is everyone happy and I'm not happy? You know, oh, and look at their beautiful house and I have this house, or whatever, right? But let's face it, the reality is, as human beings, happiness, it comes and goes, and in degrees. We could be elated one day and going into depression the next. So the thing that I read that really helps me is, when I'm down, I really want to assess, how down am I? And let me just give you a couple examples. So on the emotional ladder, we can be like depression, like clinical depression. We could have some serious anger about something. We could be worried. Every one of those steps is a little bit higher up on that emotional ladder. We could now be in doubt. We could go to be pessimistic. Then we're ambivalent. And now we swing up on the ladder and we're content. Some days we're content, right? If I'm content, but I'm feeling like, why am I not happy? If I can move one rung up on the ladder to being optimistic, I'm heading in the right direction. So for me, and the last one is like, I think, elation or joy or, you know, whatever. So to me, getting out of languish is really understanding, where am I? Why am I feeling this way? And if I can take one step forward, one rung up on the ladder, I'm heading in the right direction. I'm going to feel a little bit better. The other thing is service to others. And I love this question because it's what we're all about, right? Being a mentor is being in service to others. I can just tell you the mentee that I have has a disability that it would be obvious if you saw her, and she's stuck being a waitress. And part of that is because in her own head, that's kind of all she thought she was worthy of. She's got a college degree, she is amazing, but that voice in her head is keeping her back. The other thing is, her resume, all I did was translate it into words I would use, and she's like, this makes me sound amazing. And I'm like, but you are, and this is really the stuff you do. So service to others gets you thinking about someone else, and we're not thinking about ourselves and where we are.
I love that. I love that. In my past life, I used to say we need to be our own biggest and best cheerleaders. And that's exactly right. And we don't typically tend to be. Thank you for that, Miss Marie. Mr. Quinn, I have a question for you, sir. Tell me about a single decision you made that completely changed the direction of your life or set you on a lifetime path.
Well, first of all, how many of y'all went to the football game on Saturday?
Woo, go Hawks!
We got a lot of Arkansas fans in here on Saturday. Wasn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
I was doing the broadcast with Chuck Baird, and it was amazing. And I was 1-3 against Texas. I was a quarterback at Arkansas. I played 4 years against them. I was 1-3 against Texas, and it drove me nuts. I was like, score 60, make up for the points I didn't get. I mean, let's kill them. Let's kill them. I was just all about killing them. But, yeah. But,
well, we got to do that Saturday.
what was that question again?
Yeah.
Can you read? It's like Family Feud. Can you read the question again?
You got a little distracted with those Razorbacks in Texas,
I am. Everybody
didn't
is.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about a single decision you made that completely changed the direction of your life or set you on a lifetime path.
Well, I will tell you one of the biggest things in my life, and my mom, I'm a mama's boy for sure. And I love my mama like crazy, and she passed away, and I was her caregiver and she had Alzheimer's and dementia. So the day that we were diagnosed with Alzheimer's, that was probably the day that I knew that was going to change my life. I knew it was going to change her life, and so like when you're watching your mom, and she's going through that whole diagnosis process, and they're asking her to draw a clock that says 10 till 2, and she can't do it. You know, I knew that this is a lady that has supported me my entire life, that's been there for me. And so now I'm going to have to support her in a way that's going to help her. And so I was really struggling with that, and I knew that I needed to step up. But my life wasn't going to change. My life was not going to change. I was still going to have all those meetings. I was still going to have all those calls. I was still going to have to do all the football stuff. And so for me, I had to shift priorities. And luckily for me, I had a lot of people who supported me in a way that would allow me to take care of my mom. And so when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I had to change priorities. And I had to go have conversations with people that I work with saying, man, look, hey, I may have to do this a little bit more flexible than I normally would. And so I just need you to support me. My mom supported me. I need to support her. I'm going to support her. And so that was a thing. And I'm the youngest of all my brothers. And my brothers all had jobs where they had to be there. I was fortunate enough to have a job where I could have a little flexibility. And so when my mom was diagnosed, we moved her here to Arkansas. She was with us. I had to be with her. So I say that to say, I mean, it's a personal thing, but it impacted my business life. It impacted everything that I did. And so I'm just thinking, you know, that my brothers had to be able to provide for their family. I was the one who had a flexible job. And so my mom came here, and I'm so thankful. I was mad about it when she was diagnosed. I was upset about it. But my mom was there for me all that time. I wanted to be there for her. She battled Alzheimer's for 10 long years. And that's a tough thing to deal with, being a caregiver. And so we figured it out. But I worked for two great companies, Walmart and Home Depot, that allowed me to be flexible, still be able to do what I needed to do. I'm so thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I was able to help my mom fight that battle. When you're dealt that card, you're dealt that card. And so I'm here. I was like, you know what? You were always here for me. I'm going to be here for you, and we're going to do this thing together.
And Quinn, if anybody wants to see more of your story, how can they see that?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a documentary basically on that. And so it's a three-part series that Robin talked about. It's called Growing Up Grovey. The first part talks about my mom. So you get to see my mom and dad when they were young and vibrant and talking. And then episode 2 talks a lot about football. So you get to see a lot of football games. But then episode 3 gets into the whole Alzheimer's and me being the caregiver for my mom and that whole battle and that struggle. And we feel like we can help people learn from that. But if you want to watch it, you can binge watch tonight.
It's really
you
good.
can binge watch tonight. I promise you. I mean, you'll be better for it. It's watch.yourview.com. And if you like football, you'll love it. If you are going through a battle with Alzheimer's and dementia, you'll be able to see our struggle and how me and my mom fought that, and my entire family, how we fought it.
It is a wonderful series, and I had more tears. I'm a crybaby. So it was great. Thank you, Quinn. Okay, to the panel. Think about a time you answered the call to courage. How did you nudge yourself from anxiety to action? That's a big one. That's a good one. I want to hear from you, Miss Catherine.
So the call to courage came for me. I was working with a coach, and one of the things that she was working with me on is building my confidence. And so she recommended this book, The Confidence Code by Katie Kay and Claire Shipman, which I absolutely loved. It shed so much light on things that I had seen, I had kind of pondered, struggled with, and the thing that they end up saying, they let you know, like, we have neuroplasticity, we can change our thinking if we feel like we're inadequate, not good enough, whatever. And one of the ways to exercise that is to step out of your comfort zone and take risks. And I could not help but think, how do you do that? I'm a person of faith. My faith is what has gotten me through the challenges of my life. And I just thought, how do you do that without faith? There's no faith element in this. And meanwhile, I had also signed up for a writer's retreat, but one of the things that was required is that I have a solid book idea. And I am a writer. I have written workplace Bible studies, but I didn't have a book idea. So all of a sudden, I realized I kept talking about this book, talking about how it needed a faith element, and I realized, oh, I need to write that book. And I really felt like God was putting that on my heart. And I thought, okay, I'm working on my confidence. How am I supposed to write a book on confidence? And so I just prayed and I said, Lord, if you want me to write this book, you're going to have to give me the words. I'll do all the writing. I'll interview other women, but you're going to have to help me figure that out. And so the way I got through that, excuse me, was to, one, give it to God and just trust that he would lead me through the process. But also knowing my why, knowing that I have such a passion for helping other women to, get over the things that I struggled with for so long, to build that confidence, to have confidence in who they are, and not to put their identity in what they do, their failures, their successes. That's such pressure, just to put their confidence in who they are as a person. And so that helped me push through when, quite frankly, there were times I wasn't sure I was going to ever be able to finish, but I did. And so it got published a year ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay. Well, that's awesome. I love that. Know your why. Okay, so in due to timing, who else would like to answer that? We'll take one more.
I'll share my story. Again, pretty vulnerable, but my courage comes from telling my story, which is this. I do not have a college degree, which is something that I cringe when people say, where did you go to school? I almost black out and go, oh my gosh, what can I make up? I changed it to JB Hunt University. Right? But it really has been like my Achilles heel that my boss has poured into me to say, you have a story that is so worth sharing for everybody else that may have not been able to go to college or whatever your path was, but to know that I am sitting at an SVP inside a Fortune 300 organization. But for me, it's really telling that story that if I can make a difference in one life, it's my getting comfortable with it. I have one of my sons that works at JB Hunt, and he loves to tell the story, and I'm like, stop telling people. Like, I've got this whole JBU thing going, and if you would like stop letting it out. But again, I think we all have our own story. We all have our own journey. Our journeys don't look the same, which makes us unique and special in our own way. So for me, it's been owning that journey and knowing that if I share it, as much as I cringe, it's impacting somebody. So courage, strength, and ultimately knowing that, look, our destiny is in front of us to go get, and don't let anything hold you back.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that was a bonding moment for us, because I too have to admit, I do not have a college degree either. So when Miss Tammy said that, it was like such a bonding moment, because that's held me back my whole life.
In our heads.
Huh?
It has held us back in our heads.
In our
Right.
heads, yeah, exactly, in our heads. You get that negative self-talk that you can't do it because, So when you can put that away and go, well, I've got quite a few decades behind me now, so I think I can probably do something.
Yeah, funny story. I actually went into an EVP and said, this is like 4 years ago, I think I'm going to go back to school. He laughed me out of his office and said, get back to work. Like, you've got more life and career experience than you going and getting. And I was like, okay, I'll save my money and I'll just go do what I do.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that story. That's awesome. Marie?
So again, due to time, how about we jump to the last panel question, which is, what is the best praise or advice you've ever received? Mr. Quinn.
Well, for me, I mean, coming up being in athletics, and like I said, I'm a mama's boy. And my mom was my biggest critic, and she was my biggest fan. I mean, she rode me like Seabiscuit. It was just like, I'm serious. Anytime I got too cocky, she was there to bring me down. So I love her for everything she did for me. But, the one thing she told me, it was like, okay, you're going to go to Arkansas, and you're going to be around a lot of people. You're going to be popular. don't be too cool to miss out on relationships where you can impact somebody or they can impact you. It's like, I mean, I know you're going to be the guy, you're going to be the quarterback, and people are going to want to talk to you. You're going to move on in your life. People are going to want to talk to you. Talk to everybody. And to this day, anytime somebody comes up to me, I understand that's an opportunity for me to impact their life, and I'm not naive enough to think that they can't impact my life. And so it's all about relationships. And that's what I think about every single time I come in contact with somebody. That's 5 minutes I'm going to get to spend with somebody. I may not ever see them again. But there are times where I will get notes that say, hey, Quinn, 30 years ago, you took a picture with me. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you did this for me. Don't be too cool. And so I've learned that, and it's been one of the things that's allowed me to have enriched relationships, because life is about relationships, and people always come back around, whether you can help them or they can help you.
Oh my gosh, and I know we have to hurry
Good
this up,
five.
and I want Catherine to finish us up with a question, but I have traveled with Mr. Grovey many times, and he's like a, superhero. So people want to stop and talk to him. We're trying to get through dinner, and people are talking to him, shaking his hand, always wanting to say hi, and he never shuns one person. Every single person that comes in front of him, he gives them his undivided attention, and that's a true spirit right there. Okay, Miss Catherine, sum it up for us. What is the process for building a mentor-mentee relationship? What is the role of a mentor and a mentee?
By the way, I don't have a college degree either, just saying. So I'm with you guys.
There you go.
You can accomplish a lot. It's about what you're willing to put forth, and there's a lot of ways to learn. There's a lot of ways to learn. So I know you guys have a formal mentoring program at JB Hunt, which I always think is fabulous, but not everyone has access to formal mentoring programs. So I know I didn't have access to that, and so I really encourage people. And sometimes those formal mentoring programs may be more focused on the specific industry or specific job skills, but maybe you're trying to grow your confidence or as a leader or in some other way. And so I really also encourage people to look for opportunities for informal mentoring relationships. You may see somebody that you really admire, that has those skills or has gone through some experiences, things like what Quinn shared, family illnesses that you might have to have endured that could really help you to face that. And so what I recommend is not going up to that person and saying, hey, would you be my mentor? Because that can be scary for some people, right? They're like, oh, I don't know if I've got the skills to do that. But you can just go and invite them to coffee. Ask them some questions. See if there's some chemistry there. And then if that works out well, do it again. And eventually it may end up becoming a more formal mentoring program, mentoring relationship. There was a woman, just as somebody who loves to mentor, I saw a young woman who was worked at Walmart and participated in a workplace leadership study that we had put together. And not only was she participating, but then she agreed to lead one very quickly, whereas some of the more experienced people were a little more shy about that. And so I said, this young woman's got something. And so I invited her to coffee. And so she now calls me her mentor and now reaches out to me on a regular basis to schedule time, which I definitely recommend that the mentee does, is take responsibility for scheduling that time with the person you want to talk to. Ask if you can participate on a project, if that's a way that you can learn. But definitely come in with some specific questions and goals and things that you can ask. And for a mentor, it's so important to ask open-ended questions, to really be the guide for the mentee to find their own answers so that we can share, and to share vulnerably, right? To share like, hey, I don't have a degree, or I fell down and I failed in that area, and this is how I recovered. And by the way, I did recover, so you'll be okay.
Love it. I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you all this wonderful panel for being here with us today and for us to be able to be in front of you and share our stories. And I have to do a little plug. We have a new boutique in Fayetteville that we are, for Dress for Success, that we are looking for volunteers for, so, or ladies that need our help. So if you know of anybody, please send them to Fayetteville, to Miss Kim Lindsay back there, and she will help make them feel like $1 million. Thank you all very much.